What is up, good people? Welcome back to the stream. I am making Cyberpunk inspired music, so listening to the Cyberpunk 2077 soundtrack and just picking a few tracks from it and emulating them using Ableton Live default devices. Been doing this every day for like a couple months now, so check the stream history if you're into this kind of thing. The point of this all, I release Ableton Live templates. You can check out the stuff I've already released on Patreon. There's a link to free stuff in the channel description, so you will go and help yourself there. Let me know what your experience is like, downloading them and tinkering around with them if you are an Ableton producer. Everything I do is in Live 11 because I don't want to get 12 just in case it's not backwards compatible, So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Take a listen to this piece, which I'm sort of working on these days. This is called Track 7, highly inventive title. And yeah, point of today is just to carry on going. I'm going to maybe do a bit more work on this and say hi to a couple of the peeps who usually stop by. Okay, so one thing I'm missing in this track so far is this bass doesn't sound a lot like it should. I think everything else needs to basically come down. But yeah, we'll get around to the mixing stuff later. Right now, we just got to do arrangement mode, making parts of the track. I think I'm happy with the beat. It doesn't have to be too much more edgy than it currently is. But let's just roll this off a little bit here. Okay. So yeah, like again, don't reinvent the wheel. And when I get stuck, what I do is I listen to the actual demo track, well, the source track at least, the reference track. That is this piece from Cyberpunk 2077. Now you can't hear it because I get flagged on copyright if I play it for you, but I'm listening to it quite carefully and emulating sounds, trying to reproduce some of the sounds in the original track. And then I release this all via Patreon and elsewhere to producers who want this kind of sound in their videos and independent games. The goal here, kids, is subscribers, like with everybody else. So if you like what I'm doing and you see what I'm doing and you think it's cool, giving away stuff for free and letting people use the music, then do please spread the word. I love doing this stuff, but it just makes a whole much more sense for everybody else if the community also benefits from it. So cool. What I've got here is it's an Eastern-inspired track, Eastern-inspired instrument from the previous track. Not really suitable for this project, but what I'm going to do is just save it to my stuff. As you might see, if I get out the way, I've got a growing library here of Cyberpunk themed devices, which I'm just curating basically. It's curated devices. So let's call this one Kotor, we're going to call it lead, and I'm going to just call it Japanese pluck, even though it's not really Japanese or whatever. I'm just going to call it that. A lot of Cyberpunk games and dystopian cities are set in the East, so I think that's a suitable name for it. Cool. And I'll know what it is when I look at it in the list. Alright, this is actually my favorite part of the day. If you just joined the channel, you're stopping by, come and say hi. I love chatting to people while I work. Alright, let's see what we can do with this piece now. This is cool. It just feels like that is the moment that it builds up to rather than the launching moment. So let's figure out what we subtract from this to make it an introduction scene. First things first, Control-Shift-I. To duplicate the scene, I'm going to delete some of the pads and just hear what it sounds like with. Just like that. Good. The glitch can come down. Okay, I want to get a high sustain note in here because that always speaks of like danger or tension or something like that. So cool, I like that. Let's do it every couple of notes. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Cool. that's all it needs to be. I'm just going to let this play out so I don't have to manually set the re-record time. 1, 2, I'll let it go for another 2 bars. 14 and 15, and there it is. Now it should play back there. There we go, good. What I want to do next is just take this sound and make it drop off a little bit. So there are 2 ways to do that. I can get into the weeds, of the wavetable device here and try and figure out a way to, map the LFO to the pitch envelope. But in fact, what I'm going to do is just get straight into the automation envelope here and do it manually because it's going to be a lot quicker. So just grab the pitch bend envelope. Let's listen to it coming in right here. That's what I'm after, exactly that. And then we'll just bend it a little bit so it starts out and then falls off. No. Here we go. That's good, but just goes down a bit too low. And maybe we could also just make it a little bit longer. I like it when it's not. There we go, cool. And we'll just adjust the envelope lightly. Still goes down a little too much for my liking and ends too late. Just a little bit less, maybe like that. That's the sound I'm going for. Right, here we go. Okay, good. Now I started it in the wrong place. I'm just going to reset the start marker to make it more at the end than beginning. And let's do it halfway through actually. So this is something I've learned about making music. You don't have to turn every single patch or channel into a big moment. You can just have like little bits and pieces, samples here and there that just kind of add in to the overall vibe. Now what I did want to do also was create a high. That's where it should be, yeah, right there. Okay, now let's take it up an octave. Just play around with this high string sound. Dubstep works well. Good, I like that. So let's try that again. From here. Let's do that rather, I like that. Cool, we'll duplicate this piece over here to be up on a high C sharp. So it sounds like this. There we go, good. So that comes in every once in a while. It's a bit creepy, but it works. Good. Let's move over to the sweep patch over here. And just lose my library. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, we're on sweep. How does this sound? Again, falling tones, pitch modulation. I'm going to be a bit more intentional about it. Because what I want to do here is create something which sounds like this dark and fragile pad. We need an actual pad. I'm going to use this airplane wave again, I think. Yeah, this works well as a siren sound, which has roots in rave. And rave is one of the defining genres, one of the influencing genres for this style of music. So I'm going to group this up and call it something that makes sense to me, which is, it's kind of like a texture. Let's just hear it out. It's a down sweep, which falls into the category of texture. So let's call it texture, and it's a melodic texture, but high tone, down pitch, down. Cool. I'm going to call it high tone, down pitch, because that describes what it is to me. It makes sense. Okay, kids, moving onwards. That's not the pad I want. What I want is dark and fragile. So let's load up dark and fragile. Yeah. Dark and fragile. Analog, we'll turn the analog off. We don't need that second layer. So just keep it on the wavetable. There we go. That's it. Full high. Let's use the big keyboard. I think we're in G minor. Okay, good. Now let's mess around with some of the these parameters. I want the cutoff, as usual, to be mapped to something quite obvious. So we're going to stick that up there, and here we go. That's a good starting point for what I'm after, but it needs to be a bit more aggressive. So I'm going to take the res up. It gives it a bit more of an aggressive sound. Now I'm going to add some kind of distortion for sure. Saturator is a good start, not in my stuff, but here. These are all default sort of saturators. I'll put one at the end here of the chain, and I'll just flip through the presets and see what kind of results we get. So let's start with a nil. Hard, yes, I like hard. That's just as a bit warmer. A crew cut. Digital clip center. Let's take a look at what we're actually looking at over here. Get out the way. We're looking at this device in the bottom right here. Okay. Oops. Oh, I just found a pick. It was in between my keyboard keys. Hey. Okay, this is actually a mate of mine, Brian Fanner. He produces guitars from South Africa here. He ships them all over the world. If you're into custom guitars, check out Brian Fanner. Where were we? Okay, we'll be doing hot swapping of different saturators. Let's try these default Ableton saturators out. There's the ugly sound that we're used to. Let's do a tritone. Master crisp saturation. Now that's an entire bank on its own. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, now we're getting into the territory I want. It sounds mangled, like distorted mangled, which is nice. If I listen to the demo track, should I say not the demo track? Yeah. See, I've been like scared of distortion and saturation, and actually it's got a lovely quality to it. That's it. Master crisp saturation. That is exactly the effect that we're going for. I'm actually going to save that to my Cyberpunk folder because I want to be able to use that as a standard. So we're going to call it effect. Master crisp saturation. That should work on audio and on... In fact, we don't call it effects. What are we doing? Effects. Come on, man. You're a producer. Talk like a producer. FX. Cool. That's good. That's exactly the sound we're going for. Beautiful. Glad I found that because it's quite common. One of the ways that I approach these big projects where I'm making 10 tracks at a time, or it's big for me, is to do a first pass of all of the music. So flesh out like arrangements for 10 tracks. And while you're doing that, you continually are saving patches and fine-tuning, honing the sound. And then you go back to track 1 for your second pass. You can actually use some of the sounds that you've, stumbled upon in track 10 or whatever. So the point here is to standardize the sound for the project so that by the time you put it out, it sounds like an album. That's the idea. Cool, man. Yeah, I mean, this is cool. That's just like the highlight of my days, sitting here and making music. Okay, let's go. Enough talk. Now what we want to do is get this sweep pad into the mix. Okay, so let's just play along. It's not actually a sweep pad, it's a pad. Let's do some renaming here. This is pad. This is actually lead, not pad. So we'll change that to lead. And this one here, this is just an effect. It's just a down sweep, eh? Yeah. Cool. We'll call that a sweep. All right. Cool. Okay, and that's texture. That's a rhythmic texture, so that just kind of pops along in the background. Cool. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Some D minor. Let's do a nice little wide synth over here. Okay, so our bass line is going D to B flat, then D to G sharp, or D to A flat, so like this. 4 1. Okay, now we can either layer that bass or we can complement it somehow. So we go like this. Let's listen to the demo. Okay, this is more like a lead sound that I'm hearing. Okay, let's try something like that. So let's play it up again. That's cool. Okay, now we just got to fine tune the echo and the delay sounds of it. Let's take off some of that. Okay, there was quite a lot of reverb here on this echo device a minute ago. I think I've squashed most of it. Let's turn it off. 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 2 2 3 4. Just trying to get some feel for it here. Well, I'll just record this, see how it sounds. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 2 2 3 2 1 and play back. Now we need a that needs to be sort of a different patch, maybe. Maybe if we just saturated this in what if we gave it like a lot of delay? Let's listen to that. Yeah, there's a lot more reverb on it now, which is working well. Let's hear it. Oof, that's echoey as hell. Okay, let's take the reverb down a bit. Okay, good, great, we got some progress, but there is still sort of like a bass layer that's missing, and by bass I mean like B-A-S-E, like a substrate. So let's try and come up with a substrate layer. This gong I didn't really use, except for in the previous tracks, so cut that out. Sub is maybe what we're looking for. Oh, sub is just the kick. And I've actually got a sub already going in this one, so sub's not what we want. What we do want though is something like a sub to just kind of hold the low end. Maybe we could duplicate this patch, or just hear how it sounds with the... No, not that one. Let's keep on looking. I'm going to take a bit of time out here and see if I can find something nice. Japanese pluck we don't really need for this particular piece. Actually, let me just duplicate this with a plucked instrument. Does it sound better? 2 3 4. We've also got some timing issues here. I want this to be da-da-dun, da-da-dun, like that. Dun-dun-dun, good. Da-da-dun, that's good. And I want that to all be maxed out, and we can actually just quantize it to maybe 50%. Try it again. Okay, the pad, it's not working. That's quite nice the way it like just stays up, like frequency wise. It's just a bit loud, but fine. Good. Let's see if we can make something out of this bass. It really isn't popping at the moment. That might be it, just the volume. The operator volume, I just pumped it up, so now we've got like much nice low end. 3 4 1 2 3 4 2. Okay, we do I think have the option of cutoff frequency on Japanese pluck. Let's see if we can. That's mental. I like that. Of course, stick that in the map. So I'm taking the frequency of the wavetable and sticking it on macro 1, and that should give me the power to map it. So over here. There we go. Something like that. Good. I'm not sure that's the right. Interesting. Just trying to find the right algorithm here, flicking through them. It's got a siren sound, which is nice. It's got its own tone, which is quite cool. Oh, one thing, actually, I had this kind of dream last night where I was like, I wonder if you can bring your own sample into wavetable. Let's try it out. No, none of that. Let's just try this, for example. That. Yes, you can. Okay, so it uses any sample. That's super rad. You can create your own sounds. Very cool. Okay, well, we're going to screw around with that as much as we can in the coming days. But for now, let's just stay on focus. This doesn't sound good. I mean, I like this telephone, whatever, this ringing, but it doesn't suit this track. Let's just try throw an ashtray and see what happens. I mean, very interesting, right? Abrasive is the word. Yeah, it's got a nice tone to it. I like that. It's making this sound like it needs to be have a shorter attack time. So let's take the attack of the wavetable pad down. Here we go, try it again. Should play. That's more like punchy. Okay, let's try it again with the piece. This is like sound design, really, like more sound design than music, so to speak. Finding the right sounds, you know. Okay, good, I like it, and I can actually hear it's out of time, it's too early. Good, let's just cut that one back, fold it up, and let's make sure this is 1, 2, 3, and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, can't tell. 2, 3, 4. That's good. Okay, I just caught it on the down sweep of the LFO, so it sounds like it's cut off. There's a degree of randomness here. I'm not going to fight it. I think it's cool to have a bit of randomness in your track. I don't have, yeah, this isn't like a custom job, so I don't have to sit here for hours fine-tuning everything. Make it as good as you can, but make sure you get 10 tracks out by the end of the month, kind of thing. That's the ethos around here. Okay, now, good, okay. So let's take this frequency down, show the modulation. Oops, not automation, modulation, please. And I want to just bring that down half in the first clip, so it's maybe at the end it can go up. Let's take it up here, grabbing this little guy. Okay, boom. From the end, please. Let's take the second one here and just make it up. Hey, I forgot I wrote that. That was cool. Ableton's lines and automation is crazy, man. Like, whoa, bro, that's hectic. You can see, well, I can see, you can't because I haven't got the screen on for you. That type of thing. The way that you're able to, like, you know, do these crazy automation fades like that. Okay, but we're not here to get into the weeds, kids. We're here to just finish the tracks, so let's start with that. 2, visual layout bug. This is kind of, which is the I want this to not happen in the first. Yeah, this must be off for the first one, then the second one there. Okay, so beat 1 has a little bit more subdued vibe, and beat 2 comes in a little bit more guns blazing. Happy Friday to you. If you have just joined, or you are new to the channel, or you're in the future, then it's super rad to have you here. I really enjoy meeting other people who like sitting in dark rooms. Okay, good. Yeah, that sounds quite... Is that this? No, what is it? It's a noise. Suddenly it sounds noisy. Oh, it's because I've turned this operator's noise level up. There you go. That's it, yeah. It is nice, just not that much. Okay. Plan B, or scene B. Okay. Got some Yakuza vibes. I was told it had some Yakuza vibes. I'm gonna just drop out to bass. Okay, now let's break it down a little bit, hear how it sounds just with the It's mostly just finding samples and things that work, right? This Indian harmonium. Okay, let's go back to the reference track and hear how that sounds. Okay, one thing that we do need to change is this kick. Sorry, I just realized this beat could be a lot fatter. This is not a very powerful kick. Let's get on it. What we can do, let's try and include our newly found effect by the name of Master Crisp Saturation just on this one kick. Let's try it out. See how it sounds. I mean, definitely the right direction. It's exactly what I was going for. Beefs the whole thing up, takes it from like, okay, let's go saturated. No. Crisp, no. Full, no. Clean, no. I just released it. Control Y should redo it. That's it, yeah. Okay, now I can actually hear the kick and I feel like I'm getting my balls kicked off in some nightclub, which is exactly what I want. Kick me in the balls. There we go. I don't know where all these effects are even coming from, but hey, whatever. It's doing the job. I'd like to also just make sure this, whatever this is, that this sounds a bit more vibing. I think this actually needs to come up too. Yeah. Let's take this and make this a feature, like 6 dB up, and let's hear how it sounds with just this as the beat. Okay, let's get a macro on this. So I'm going to use this one. Let's get the tuning so it sounds a little bit nicer. You can do that if you go to sample, not detune, but transpose. There should be a pitch os transpose. It's already up 12. nuts. That's nice. Okay. This is quite cool. I don't know what this stuff does. Coarse. Is this a what is this? I don't really know what that stuff does. Let's screw around with this bit for a bit and see what effects we can get with this. Pitch envelope. I heard something there. Let's screw on to this. Oh, it just takes it up an octave. It's not too fast. Wow. That's crazy. That sounds great. Oh, I've lost the decay. Okay, so we don't want 21, we want 24. Okay, so in the beginning, what we're hearing is this. And then as this track progresses, we bring in this kind of that's a nice sound. Let's take it down. That takes it all the way down. Okay. Also just do the amount, could be a bit less here. That's it, just a hard texture in the middle there. That's cool. Now we've got a sound that fills in that gap. Unfortunately, it's a bit too hard for this section, so let's take it down. There we go. Okay, let's take it back up, make sure we haven't screwed up the previous part. Okay, I'm just going to listen to reference track again. Track 2, please. Oof. Okay, that click, sorry, that clap also needs to come up. This is kind of an average clap, isn't it? Compared to the reference track. Yeah, we need a lot more work on the clap. Let's try and do that now. First step, things that worked so well with the previous one, is I'm just going to get that badass saturator and stick it right on the edge of this clap. This here clap here. Let's see if that makes a difference. Okay, so under my library, I've got effects. I'm going to stick that right there. Cool, 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 and let's hear it out. That's good, but we definitely need a bunch more reverb. Do we have reverb here? Yes, we do. Let's get the claps to ring the bell. That's it. Much more echoey. Not the right reverb sound though. Let's lose echo for now and just hear how it sounds with reverb. Okay, one thing I've noticed is it's just a bit like we could use a second clap here. And I've got this snare playing at the same time. Don't know if that's the right one. Let's try and screw around with that a bit. So taking the snare over here, finding a different one. No. 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 That's better. Good, I like that. Maybe we could just find the snare and just do a little bit of editing on it. Come on up, snare. There you are. Good. I wonder if you can go back. And the snare is also, it sounds like it needs its own reverb, so let's try and match the reverb. We could also just take this to less than 100%. Decay sound, decay down. Still way too high. Something's not right. That's nothing, okay. Low damp off. Just going through a couple of fine-tuning the changes here a little bit. Don't think this is exactly the right reverb impulse response. Let's screw around. Listening to the original. Okay, another thing I've noticed now is that it's so everything's very high. We need to take all of this stuff and just kind of squash out the highs, do a bit of treble control. We'll get there. That's the mixing stuff. Maybe I should just do a little minor EQ job, or should I say compressor job, on the kit while we're here. Yeah, you can hear the difference when you just put in those things in. Cool. So that's getting into mixing, but right now we still want to focus on arrangement. I've got time on this. I've only been working on it for like about an hour and a half now. So I'll give myself basically 2 hours or maybe 6 hours, 2 or 3 hours per track max. That enables me to get enough tracks out to stay just on point, like constantly releasing music is the goal here. 2, 3, 4. And we've got this guy over here. Three, 4. Ding, ding. Just trying things out here. I've been watching True Detective Season 2, and there's a scene where one of the cops infiltrates an underground party and is given Molly, and the depiction of her experience is really good. Like, I love seeing how people depict, like psychedelic and narcotic experiences on film, and the music was like, it was like Bernard Herrmann. It was like old sounding kind of string, wonky, pitch bent string music. It was really good, man. I've got to figure out who did that and give him a listen. So we could actually go off in a different direction here entirely. I love this type of thing. so where are we now? We are in the try that. I really like this. Dun 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 dun. Let's go again. Let's modulate that. Okay, it's the top again. I like that. One thing that I want to change is the way it snaps back up. Let's get this staying all the way down until the very edge there. That's right. Because we are edge runners after all. Are we not edge runners, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, we are. Okay, and actually, also we want to clip the note, like the volume at least. I would like to edit the modulation here. Mixer track volume. So it actually dips that. That's not what I want. I don't want to edit the mixer volume. Automation. Modulation. Does it work? Yeah. Okay. That's it. And we've got to change the release value on that. Okay, so one thing, top one is going to sound like this. Okay, then let's extend this so we can just reuse this. I'm going to take the release value of this all the way down, and then it should be able to be reusable. And it cuts off a little bit, but anyway, try again. It's longer than I want it now. Let's just do a little experiment. We've got to find a sweet spot here. It's a little bit short. A little bit shorter should do it. Now, how does this sound? Take it from here. If we took the release value up, take these notes back. Okay. Alright, I'm doing some wonky string editing here. Well, by wonky I mean like crazy down pitching stuff. Okay, then we don't actually need the volume modulation. It's cool. Oh, the third one can be a bit longer. We don't need it to extend, okay. Cool, that's kind of nice ending of the phrase there, that's cool. Let's take it down. Okay, I don't want to do this too hard. Fifth. Not too much modular change, just sound effect design really. So 4 and 1. Two. Okay, it's going in the right direction, you know, like. This is quite nice. And then we go forward to this part here. Try this part here. I like this. Okay, let's knock it in. Here we go. Good. It's something. Let's see how it plays out in the long run. You know, I'll listen to this again and again and get the feel for it. So I actually feel like this is the intro. This is the intro. We're just going to run it at a very high frequency, so we're going to cut the lows, but we'll start it like this. We'll literally get the pre-master. Where's the bus here? Yeah, turn off 1 and 2, so we don't get any, turn off 3 and 4, so we don't get any low end. I've got the various frequency bands of all my tracks in a pre-master channel, and using the number keys on the keyboard, I can disable and enable them like you can see here. So here's what I mean. Just top end, not soloed out, just top end like this. That's it. So just a taste of that, nothing too hectic. 2, 1, 2, 3, gives you like a little bit of forward motion there. This we can get rid of, we don't need that. Sort of string sound there can maybe be echoed out. Let's try out 1, 2, let's get to the next point. This guy up. Okay, I'm going to include these glitches. Two, three, four. We'll figure out a way to sort out the, you know, well, during the mixing process we do all that sorting out the mixing. Okay, here we go. Alright, top and record. Here we go. I'm going to just do a little bounce and then we're going to call it a day. Got a Friday afternoon and a weekend to get to, so I'm stoked about that. But yeah, I'll just give you a little heads up while we record. You'll see what's cooking and we can just trigger through that. Ready? Here we go. By the way, I've disabled the low end, so all you hear is that for now. We'll do some proper mixing work on that later. Here we go. Still recording. Very cool. 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and comes up with a initial scene. Let this run twice. It's 1. Creepy strings going there. We'll get that. 1, 2. Next scene. We need to repeat this but with some extra energy, like not sure how, but we'll do it. Yeah, I'll bring in that there, maybe a string pad and something else. I really like this dotty arpeggiator. Okay. Now we're gonna bring the arpeggiator up in prominence. 1, 4. And 1, 2. 1, 2. This isn't the right time for this thing to be going like this. That's where it should go, yeah. 4. Okay, just doing a quick bounce of this before I sign off for the day. And then that can be it. 2, 2, 4, and out. Cool, this can be returned to the original state, so we're gonna get there. That one part that sounds quite loud, the down sweep, don't worry about it, we're gonna sort it out. Okay, that's cool. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. And I'll work out an ending later. I'll just go to like 8 or 16 bars of just the beat, basically. Cool, that's it. That's a nice little bounce for today, kids. We're gonna keep on going on the Cyberpunk themed patch, themed template stuff. I'm looking forward to giving this stuff away, or at least releasing it on the Patreon. This is track 7 of 10 that I've put a target in place of reaching. So we've got other stuff coming up. The previous 2 albums are still being released. Well, I mean, they're all available to listen to, but I've just got to sit down and get them all onto streaming services and also onto Patreon, where you can download the actual project files in Ableton. If you're into producing and you want to see, just how someone else does it, then that's a good place to do that. And the tracks are available as Creative Commons CC BY, so it's that is attribution only. And yeah, I've got some exciting stuff coming up. There's a group in the Netherlands called Frequency Music. You may hear about them if you're into like using music for videos or whatever, because they are offering something to the Creative Commons space, which not a lot of people are offering. And that is to check out your own analytics with regards to how many people are using your music and not crediting you for it, as stipulated in like the licensing terms. So it's licensing stuff, but it makes a lot of sense for people like me who give a lot of music away for free, in fact like all of it, to at least not like police everybody for every usage, but at least to know where there are some like huge videos on YouTube that are using my music and not crediting me if they should be, because then I can at least get either credited for it or monetization on the videos. So it's cool, it's a nice step. I'm glad that someone's like trying to defend the Creative Commons space a bit, because generally speaking, people obviously, and I'm guilty of this too, like everyone just, if you can get the music for free, you do, and you don't credit the author if you don't have to. So that's kind of where we're at now. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of that partnership or agreement or whatever. And I'll be back on Monday. I'll do some more stuff on this track. Looking forward to that too. It's very much like the highlight of my day. So been a bit sick this week, but other than that, I've been cool. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping by. If you did, check the link in the description for the free stuff. Have a good weekend. If you're producing music in Ableton or any other program, doing creative stuff, take it easy, relax, and just enjoy yourself. I'm gonna enjoy myself this weekend too. I've got a gig on Sunday. So thanks for stopping by. I'll see you guys again soon. Cheers for now.